Guys, welcome back to the fish room, and today I thought I would go into depth the supplements and the substrates that I used for the tank that you saw me scape. It's an ADA Nature Cube 30C, and I used the full ADA substrate system. The number one thing I used was the tourmaline BC. That went in under the substrate before you add anything. It's a bamboo charcoal and it absorbs organic pollutant substances. It improves the substrate environment over time. Then the next one I used on top of the Power Sand Advance was the Clear Super. It's an additive made from activated charcoal or activated carbon and organic acid, and it helps with the growth of microorganisms. It promotes the growth of microorganisms in the substrate and stabilizes the environment. Then the next one I used was the Bacter 100. It contains more than 100 kinds of substrate bacteria, and they are in a dormant state when you add them to the tank. The water will actually activate them when you fill up the tank. One interesting fact was that I did not know was that when you have blue-green algae, like cyano or something like that, you can spray it or sprinkle it on top of the blue-green algae and it will suppress the growth. So eventually it will then die out. Especially handy when you do a dry start method and you end up getting cyanobacteria. I also use Bacter balls. I used them in the past. It's made from Bacter 100, so you don't necessarily need the added bacteria, but if you do not have the Bacter 100, I did use the Bacter balls. It essentially does the same thing. Okay, then we get to the fertilizers. I'm starting off with the Green Brighty Neutral K. It supplies potassium to the planted aquarium when the potassium is insufficient. It assists with photosynthesis and prevents the yellowing and the bleaching of the leaves. So you apply it daily, and it will eliminate the problems caused by a potassium deficiency. Then the next one I'm using is the Green Brighty Mineral. It supplies trace elements to the aquarium. You'll notice that if you have insufficient trace elements, it affects the formation of new buds and the pigment synthesis of aquatic plants, and it causes poor leaf color and poor plant growth. So also daily application, and it will help promote new growth. Especially handy when you start out a planter tank. You start out with those two. So within the next month or two, you start using Green Brighty Iron and Green Brighty Nitrogen as needed. The iron is especially useful for vigorous growing aquatic plants, and if they don't have iron, they will be stunted and they don't perform as well as they would with an iron supplement. The nitrogen, it's essential for plant growth, and it can cause poor growth of aquatic plants if not present in sufficient quantities. So the whole ADA food system is basically aimed at being able to target the specific deficiencies in a tank. So you can target the specific areas where you see a problem, and then you can either add potassium, or you can add nitrogen, or you can add iron as needed. So it's not a blanket dose, so you don't overdose on the one because you need to dose, let's say, iron, but you don't want to add necessarily more potassium or nitrogen. Either case is true. So you decide, or you can see from the plants what they would need, and then you add the fertilizer as necessary. Okay, and then we come to the substrate itself. The base substrate would be a power sand. I've used the power sand Advance. It's got more nutrients than the normal power sand basic, and you use it in conjunction with the Bacta 100 and the Clear Super. It also contains bamboo charcoal powder, and that helps to encourage the growth of plants. You can also choose the grain size applicable to your tank, either small, medium or large, and they are available in a 2 and a 6 liter bag. Then we come to the aqua soil itself. You get two versions, the normal Amazonia and the Amazonia Light. It's both rich in organic acid and nutrients, and it promotes the growth of aquatic plant roots. And combining with the power sand, it becomes the ideal substrate for plants. You also get a powder type in both versions. The light contains the same natural black soil as Amazonia. It just doesn't give you as much of an ammonia spike to start off with. And then you get cosmetic sands, the La Plata and the Colorado sand, which you can use as an accent piece, to make for making a pathway or making an accent corner, or using it in the front of the aquarium as a cosmetic additive to your scape. And then lastly, I'm using the larger scissors and the larger pincettes for doing my aquascapes, and both are indispensable tools if you really want to be a serious aquascaper. The pincettes help you to pinpoint plant, so you can put the plant exactly where you feel it needs to be without having to put your hand in there and maybe bumping the hardscape or that kind of thing. So you can get into tight little corners with it. And the scissors help you when you get to the point where you need to trim your plants. They're nice and sharp, surgical steel, so they will never rust. You don't get that issue with these tools. So definitely worth getting. They will definitely assist you greatly in doing what you need doing when maintaining your aquascape.